Hello guys, welcome back to the shack for another cook, and today we're doing a little bit of an experiment. So I haven't done Philly cheesesteak before, quite a good one to do in the barbecue. Don't know why I haven't done it before, so I was doing a little bit of research into it just to see what goes into it, and then I came across something called the chopped cheese, and I thought, right, what's that? Click on it, and it is chopped up burger meat, which I suppose essentially is just minced meat, but people were touting this as much better than a Philly cheesesteak. So I thought, well, there's only one thing to be done, give it a try. So we have our two meats today. They're going to go head to head. Both of these are from the meat merchant in Moira. So we have one of their ribeye steaks. We're going to slice that up thinly and use that for a Philly cheesesteak. Again, quite an expensive cut of meat to put into a steak sandwich, but we don't do things by halves. On the other side then, we have some of the meat merchant's burgers. So these are two 4-ounce burgers. We're going to use them for the chopped cheese. I'll be interested to see if this just turns out to taste like a cheeseburger and what the difference is between the two, or which I prefer. So we're going to do one of each. The only other bits and pieces I have are our rolls. Couldn't get hoagie rolls, which is the traditional ones that we'd use for a Philly cheesesteak. So we're just using white rolls for that. I have 1 onion, so we're going to do onions in both to keep it even. Traditional cheese for it is either cheese whip stuff or provolone. I couldn't get provolone, so we're using Emmental. I've done a little bit of looking into it, and it said Emmental was the closest thing you're going to get to it. So we have the Kamado Joe fired up with a good amount of charcoal in there, and we have put both of the griddle plates on there. So we're going to be doing this on the cast iron griddles. Everything, we're going to toast our buns on there, do our onions on there, and then cook both the meats on there as well. So it's a nice cook if you have a griddle or a flat top or a plancha or something like that there. This would be a good one to do on it. So we'll set that to the side for now. The first thing I'm going to do is get our onion prepped. Go ahead and take the end off, and we shall cut down through the middle. Don't think I'm going to need all of this. Go to this part here, peel off the outer layer. Hate peeling onions. Get rid of that garbage. Set that back in the bowl for now. So we're going strands with this, or strings. We'll cut them relatively thin. They should cook pretty fast. Yeah, that should be enough for a couple of sandwiches. Get rid of that. Right, so our onions are on. Our cast iron still just coming up in temperature, so we'll give it a few minutes just to get warm before we add the onions on. So we can do them and then lift them off and just add them on later on. Let's talk about our steak. So you could cook it and then thinly slice it. However, the traditional way is to cut it wafer thin and then cook it that way. So we're going to try that. I have had it in the freezer here for a little while just to toughen it up a little bit. Now we can take slices out of it. It's going to be easier to cut this way. So I'll just go down through. I think the idea is to get them as thin as you possibly can. This is the point where a meat slicer might have been handy. And this should be maximum flavour, because the marbling through the ribeye is incredible. Awesome. So that is, it looks a lot bigger whenever it's sliced up. A bit much for a single sandwich here, but so that is our ribeye all sliced up, ready to cook. Again, all nice thin strips. Should cook pretty fast. Now we do still have these sort of chunks of fat. I might fish a few of those out because the plan is to cook it pretty fast, and I don't think those are going to cook down very well. Plus this is so marbled that I don't see it being needed. Okay, that is our meat good to go. So I think our barbecue is good to go. We will move across. We'll do the onions. We're going to toast off the buns now as well, so they're ready whenever we do everything else. Then it's time to put these together and see which comes out victorious. Right, our stones are nice and hot. Add a bit of oil on there. Move that around. We'll add our onions on. Those really shouldn't take long at all to soften down. We'll keep them moving just so they don't burn. What we could do, stick a little bit of seasoning on them. So this is what we're going to use for the meat. Montreal steak seasoning. Montreal has to do with Philadelphia, but this is my version of the sandwich. I can do what I want. While we're over here, we might as well toast our buns off. Just a bit of mayo in them, same as we always do with all our burgers. Really shouldn't take that long at all. So I think our onions are looking good. We'll get them lifted off. Onto a plate. Those are nice and crispy as well, so we will lift those off too. Okay, so we'll on a little bit more oil on this side. And we'll go on with our steak. Same with this side, the splash. And on with our burgers. Alright, with the burgers, we need to go in straight away and start smashing them up. Guess this is where the chopped cheese comes from. Although it's not cheese, it's chopped burger. Keep flipping our steak around too. We haven't added any seasoning to these. We will add a little bit on once we get closer to the end. So you just need to keep moving it about until you can get all the little pink bits cooked in well. I think we're getting pretty close at this point. So what I'm going to do is get our seasoning. Again, Montreal steak seasoning from Angus and Oink. Just sprinkle a little bit over each of them. Only one, I think the burger is starting to get those nice little crispy bits you get on the edge of a burger. Personally, I love those, so I don't know if that makes me a little bit biased. Alright, I think we're at time. Just lost a piece, damn it. So, we grab our steak and form a pile of it. Roughly sandwich shape. We'll do the same with the burger. Now we need to get our cheese on there. Same with the burger. close the lid down for a minute or two to let that melt. Alright, so both have melted pretty well. The fun part, this could go horribly wrong. I need to try and get this off and onto my sandwich in one piece. Hold on. I'm gonna need 2 hands for this. Yeah, not too bad. If we can, slide that onto the sandwich. Same again with this one. Add that into that roll. So, with both sandwiches ready, last thing to do is just to put on a few of those onions on each. Okay, and then the only other difference between them, well, the chopped cheese pretty much has everything that a burger has, but I thought that might be a little bit cheaty if we're going for a comparison. So all I'm going to do is add a few pickles in there. That's it. That's the only difference between them. Alright, I think it's fair to say, next time, buy bigger rolls. Or use less stuff, but don't want to use less stuff. Buy bigger rolls, because they really do not fit at all. They're spilling out everywhere. A bit like sloppy joes, but doesn't matter. We need to give them the taste test, see what they taste like. So we will go with our chopped cheese first. I've been eating little bits that have fallen out of this already, like this. And the best part of a burger when it gets that crust on it. This is like hundreds of little bits with crusts on them. It's incredible. Right. Go in for a bite. Okay, okay. I'll reserve judgment. Now, our cheese steak monster. There's no pickle on this one. Here goes nothing. So, I'm leaning towards this one. Okay, the traditional way is to slice the steak, cook it in those thin strips, but to me, I don't think it's as nice as if we had cooked the steak normally over the coals, then thinly sliced it and put it into a sandwich with cheese. So maybe we need to try that again, but definitely this one here. Those little knobbly bits of burger are incredible. Plus, that's a ribeye steak, and that I would have enjoyed that ribeye steak much more if I just cooked it. Whereas this one here, it feels a little bit like a burger that's been bumped up a little bit, if that makes sense. You're just getting more crust on there with the cast iron and the burger being cut down into those little pieces. So overall, I'm going to say buy a ribeye steak and cook it as a ribeye steak, and instead of doing a Philly cheesesteak, do this one instead, the chopped cheese. This tends to be a lunch idea, and I would say I would prefer this one as a lunch over this one. So I want to know what you think. Now, this maybe isn't the best Philly cheesesteak in the world, so maybe I can't judge it. Maybe I need to add more cheese. Don't know, but out of these two that I've made today, this one is 100% better. So let me know what you think, if you've tried either of these or which one you prefer. Any tips on improving either of them, more than welcome. A huge thanks to all the new members for supporting the channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.